Dhanushkodi is a place of endings, a sliver of land at India's edge where the Bay of Bengal meets the Indian Ocean. This narrow spit of sand, just 18 miles from Sri Lanka, has always been a bridge between two ancient lands. Its name, meaning end of the bow, is rooted in sacred Hindu lore and the epic Ramayana, where Lord Rama is said to have marked the spot for his legendary bridge to Lanka, Ram Setu. For centuries, Dhanushkodi was a vital gateway. Ferries crossed to Sri Lanka, traders mingled with Tamil fishermen, and pilgrims bathed where two seas met. The town thrived as a hub of faith and commerce, its air thick with devotion and trade. The British recognized its strategic value, building a railway right to the pier. Passengers could travel from Madras, step off the train, and board a ferry to another country. Dhanushkodi became a cosmopolitan outpost with a railway station, post office, and customs house all bustling with life. It was a place where ancient pilgrimage met colonial order, a unique fusion of the sacred and the practical. Every grain of sand here holds a whisper of epic tales and human ambition. Pilgrims believed a dip in these waters absolved sins, a final act in a long spiritual journey. The town's identity was shaped by its geography, its myths, and its role as a crossroads of cultures. Dhanushkodi was never just a remote outpost. It was a living link between faith, family, and fortune. But this vibrant place would soon face a force far greater than myth or man. Before disaster struck, Dhanushkodi was alive with the rhythms of daily life. Fishermen mended nets on the beach, their boats bright against the sand. Children's laughter mingled with the roar of the ocean. The town was self-sufficient. Shops, a school, a small hospital, and a temple at its heart. Festivals brought the community together, and the arrival of the boat mail train from Madras was a daily highlight. Pilgrims and tourists flowed through, filling lodges and eateries with stories and commerce. Fishing and pilgrimage were the twin pillars of the local economy. The sea provided sustenance while pilgrims brought a steady stream of income. Residents took pride in their unique identity, living at the confluence of two seas and two nations. Life was simple, yet vibrant, governed by the tides and the whistle of the train. Homes were built, families raised, and traditions passed down in this sandy soil. The community was tightly knit, bound by shared rituals and a deep connection to the sea. For the people of Dhanushkodi, this was the center of their universe. The sea was their provider, their neighbor, and their constant companion. Few imagined that the same sea could become their greatest threat. In a single night, everything would change. On December 22, 1964, a cyclone unlike any before struck Dhanushkodi. Winds exceeding 170 kilometers per hour battered the town as a tidal wave surged ashore. Waves, some 20 feet high, crashed over the narrow land, leaving nowhere to run. The sea, once a source of life, became an unstoppable force of destruction. Lightning revealed scenes of chaos. Homes, shops, and the temple swept away in darkness. The Pamban Dhanushkodi passenger train, just yards from the station, was lifted from the tracks and swallowed by the sea. All 115 aboard perished, the engine buried in sand, a grim monument to the storm's power. By dawn, Dhanushkodi was gone, reduced to a waterlogged wasteland. Debris littered the sand. Silence replaced the town's vibrant life. The sea, now calm, betrayed no hint of the devastation it had wrought. The thriving port and sacred site had vanished in hours. The cyclone erased not just buildings, but an entire way of life. Survivors would remember that night as the moment their world ended. Dhanushkodi became a stark reminder of nature's awesome, terrifying power. The town's story was now one of loss and survival. Its legacy would haunt the sands for generations. In the aftermath, rescue teams found only devastation. The railway was gone, roads impassable, and survivors few, clinging to debris haunted by loss. The official death toll neared 1,800, but the true number remains unknown. Relief efforts focused on rescuing the living and recovering the dead. Survivors were evacuated to camps in Ramaswaram and Mandapam, now refugees in their own land. The bodies from the train were buried in the sand, a mass grave shaped by the storm. The government declared Dhanushkodi a ghost town, unfit for habitation. The fragile spit of land was too dangerous to rebuild. Former residents were resettled on the mainland, given land and aid to start anew. But a new house could not replace a lost home, nor could a new village recreate the unique culture of their island town. The trauma of that night lingered, passed down through generations. The people of Dhanushkodi became exiles, living in the shadow of memory. Their community scattered, their traditions uprooted. The storm had not just destroyed a town, it had erased a way of life. The ruins stood as a silent testament to what was lost. Dhanushkodi's story became one of survival, resilience, and longing for a vanished home. Its memory endures, etched into the sands and hearts of those who once called it home. Even in ruin, Dhanushkodi is alive with legend. The Ramayana's echoes remain strong. Pilgrims still come to the tip of the land, where two seas meet. The mythic Ram Setu, or Adam's Bridge, stretches towards Sri Lanka, its origins debated by science but embraced by faith. Standing here, it's easy to believe you're at the edge of a divine battlefield. The cyclone itself has become part of local folklore, a tale of the sea's anger, perhaps even divine retribution. Some say the town lost its sacred focus and was reclaimed by the sea god, Varuna. These stories help survivors make sense of the senseless. Dhanushkodi is now a place where history and myth intertwine. Visitors come as pilgrims, seekers, and historians drawn by the magnetic pull of the ruins. The sands hold stories of creation, destruction, and survival. This liminal space captivates the imagination, suspended between land and sea, myth and memory. Dhanushkodi's legends endure, haunting the windswept shore. Today, Dhanushkodi is a landscape of ruins. The church's empty arches frame the endless sky. The railway station's shell and twisted tracks lead nowhere. The water tower stands alone, a relic of lost modernity. Salt-laden winds and shifting sands slowly erase what remains. Walking here, you trace the outlines of vanished homes and public buildings, now just empty shells. The sand has reclaimed the streets, a powerful reminder of nature's impermanence. Yet, a small community of fishermen persists, living in temporary huts, defying the government's ban. They have no electricity or running water, but their presence keeps the memory of Dhanushkodi alive. These resilient souls are the last keepers of the town's story. For visitors, reaching Dhanushkodi is an adventure, across sand, shallow water, and past floating stones, said to be remnants of Ram Setu. The journey feels like entering another realm, where civilization's rules no longer apply. Here, nature has reclaimed its authority. The ruins are a museum curated by wind and sea. Dhanushkodi is a place where the past lingers, refusing to be forgotten. Its silence is profound, its story unforgettable. Dhanushkodi's story is one of hubris, humility, and resilience. It reminds us how fragile our existence is before nature's power. The cyclone of 1964 shattered the illusion of control, leaving only ruins and memory. Yet the survival of a small fishing community speaks to the enduring human spirit. Home is more than buildings, it's memory, landscape, and way of life. Dhanushkodi's fate is a warning for coastal communities everywhere, as climate change brings more extreme storms. The town's story forces us to reconsider where and how we build. Dhanushkodi is not just Indian history, it's a global cautionary tale. Here, myth and reality collide, and the confluence of two seas mirrors the confluence of stories. To visit is to be humbled and moved by the forces that shape our world. In its silence, Dhanushkodi endures.